Hey, Soma family and friends, as we step into this new season of giving sacrificially and investing in the next generation, we're excited about the opportunity and the challenge for each of us to consider our deeper level of trust and generosity that God may be calling us to personally in order to expand our level of impact together. Remember, our primary goal and our prayer is that 100% of us would choose to engage in the Only God Building Initiative through our generosity. We're one body of believers with many members, and each of us have a part to play. Pray first and ask God what to give, prepare and make plans to schedule that giving, and then participate as you can. To help us pray and think through our own part, we've created a commitment card, and the card is designed to help you think and pray through your commitment. Although you don't necessarily need to fill out every single line, each of them represents an opportunity for you to seek God in discerning your commitment. The first box says what we normally give in a year, and this is where you're going to include your current annual giving. We want to begin the journey by celebrating your current level of giving and generosity. For some of you, this box may not have a number in it yet, and you may be at the start of your giving journey through the local church in this initiative. And I want to encourage you that this is a very important step of faith. We practice tithing as a community, and that reminds us that God is our source. He's the giver of everything good in our lives, and it keeps us dependent on the giver of good gifts. It keeps us from trusting too much in what God has given us. Our ongoing tithes and offerings are also funding the ministry of the church and allowing for the impact that we're seeing as a church family. Boxes 2 and 3 reflect above and beyond your tithes, and we want you to spend some time praying and asking God, how are you inviting me to trust you in a deeper way by growing and expanding my generosity so that I'm truly giving my first and my best to you? It honors God when we wrestle and ask the tough questions. For instance, is my giving truly governing my spending and my saving, or does my spending and my saving govern my giving? Be as honest as you can as you seek to reflect here in this box the way in which God's asking you to expand your generosity during this season. And then fill out the second box that says my or our initial gift for the Only God Initiative to help accelerate the project. And if you're in a position to give a percentage of the overall commitment up front, it allows us to move quicker and be positioned to start demolition and build out phase 1. For example, we have people that have pledged $25,000 and they've given 12, or people that have pledged $5,000 and they've given 2. The idea is whatever you can to accelerate the project up front. The third box says the remainder of my or our expanded giving to Only God over a 2-year period. Simply put, it's the remainder of your commitment that wouldn't be paid out initially. So if you're committing $10,000 over a 24-month period and you can give $2,000 up front, you'll put $8,000 in this third box. This fourth box is important. It's for the gifts from stored resources. We often only consider our generosity in terms of what God will give us in the future, forgetting about what God's already given us. If we want to honor God in all things, we need to ask ourselves if we're honoring God, not just with what He's going to give us, but what He's already put in our hands. Everyone has stored resources, and for some of us, it might mean cash, savings, retirement accounts, property, stocks. For others of us, it could mean possession, something that God's given us in the past that we're not honoring with Him in the present. If you're struggling with what your stored resources might be, it's helpful to make a list of your most significant possessions, your home or homes, your cars, other property, recreational vehicles, as well as your savings and stocks. They should all go on this list and begin to work through the list in prayer and ask God, am I honoring you with the resources you've given me? And for many of these items, the answer is yes, and you should keep that resource and keep honoring God with those things. However, you may get to an item on the list and think, I'm not sure I'm honoring God with this possession that He's entrusted to me. If you're not honoring God with something of value in your possession, then as you pray, God will likely reveal one of two paths for you. Redeem that possession and start honoring God with it, or release it and honor Him by giving those funds directly to His mission to expand His kingdom in the local church. To be clear, I'm not asking you to sell your home or your car or your prized baseball collection. I'm simply encouraging you as a steward, trying to honor God with all that He's entrusted to you, to ask Him if He's honored by how you're stewarding these resources. This process may lead you to discover that there's something of value that God wants you to give up as part of your deeper trust in Him in this season. You'll then add the value of these items in this box next to gifts from my or our stored resources. Finally, add everything together from boxes 2 through 4 at the bottom, and this is your total 2-year Only God commitment amount. And at this point, I want you to ask Jesus, does this commitment truly reflect a deeper level of faith and trust in you? Does it truly indicate my desire to orient my other priorities around you and not let my predetermined priorities affect how I will give to you? Is this truly demonstrating that you are first and how I steward what you've entrusted to me reflects that. Listen, only you will know the answer to that question, and maybe your spouse. And so if you're married, I want you to encourage you to pray deeply, pray with your spouse if that's applicable for you, and truly discern the step of trust that God is calling you to take. So I wanted to point out the giving chart found here on the website. For many of you, this chart will be helpful as you think and pray through your commitment. Here's what's most helpful in determining an amount. Pray, consider a level of giving on this chart outside of your comfort zone, and this may allow God to stretch you in faith in a way that will inspire you and challenge you towards greater generosity in this season, so that we as a church can reach and inspire more people to follow Jesus and engage in the life and the mission of the local church. After working through these steps, I believe you're going to be positioned to confidently fill out the final box with your 2-year Only God commitment. This allows us to assist you in both tracking and celebrating your progress towards fulfilling that commitment. It's not a legal document. It's just a way to formalize your intentions towards a deeper step of faith in God and commitment to your church. And our staff has been praying that this Only God initiative will be an incredible time of growth for each of us in trusting in and following Jesus. Know that we as a staff are praying diligently about our own commitment that we're going to make. Brooke and I have been stretched before. This Only God journey is challenging us in ways that we've yet to experience in our 16 years of ministry. We're believing God is going to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we could ask or imagine in you as well as in our church. And we can't wait to see all that He's going to accomplish.